I.S.U.P.K 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of man down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Y'all see this?
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and forks, knives.
I got a light this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean? This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.
All right, we live. Let's clap it up. Shalom, DC, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, shot up 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible, and the truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Jews, and that our oppressors is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group or Christian organization on the face of this earth. The truth lies with 1 West under Commanding General Yahanna, no place else. Family, we got 1 week, just about 8 days to the Lord's 53rd Annual Passover. And let me tell you, the Passover demon is among us. Passover demon, if you don't know what the Passover demon is is a demon that will try and keep you from making the Passover and trying to ruin the experience of the Passover. If no one's ever been to a real Passover, and when I say a real Passover, I'm talking about under I.S.U.P.K. Any place else, there was no there was no Passover. The real Passover has always been under the I.S.U.P.K. If you haven't experienced a real Passover, you are in for a treat, brothers and sisters. This brotherhood as well as the sisterhood is on a whole nother level. If you haven't experienced brotherhood or sisterhood, once you get down to the Passover, man, it's going to be something different. I'm trying to tell you. So if you're encountering this Passover demon, my suggestion is always to fight your demons. Just put a little extra into fighting this Passover demon, right? What we're going to get into tonight is this is an old story. When I say old story, it stems back in 2019. I just come upon it myself, and as a matter of fact, I gotta get that. I just happened to come upon it myself, and this and what I got from it is nothing new. Absolutely nothing new within this story that I'm about to bring out. Has everything to do with police brutality, the ins and outs of it, what happened before and what happened after it, and what's going on in the case right now. Because it's happening, like I said, it happened in 2019, right before COVID or right around when COVID happened. COVID delayed it just a bit, but it's coming to a conclusion, and the outcome of what happened is absolutely atrocious, in my opinion. It's absolutely atrocious, and it's discussing what happened, and it's discussing what the aftermath of it was, everything that led up to it, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? They treat us like crap, like we're nothing, when in actuality, the Most High said that they are nothing. And when Christ comes back, they're going to be reminded that they are nothing on a daily basis. Every single day that they draw breath, they will be reminded how much of nothing they really are. Right? And when I say that, these are not my opinions, but these are the beliefs and the thoughts of the Most High Himself. You know what I'm saying? This is. Were you able to load up those stories? Most High in Christ. We're gonna get into this story. You know, matter of fact, yeah, we actually have some video. I'm gonna see if I can actually pull this up. We have some video here. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up on here. But in the meantime, if you could, Baba Kashar, read that second article that I sent you. What was the title of that second article?
Albany police officer Luke Deere pleads guilty to misdemeanor.
All right, this bastard, this coward, this oppressor pled guilty, but that don't mean nothing. We always see. I want you to say we always, because there's been a time where we made charges against people that done us wrong, and we try to get these people to justice. And then once they get arrested or whatever, charges are being brought up, you know, we're happy, we're appeased, only to be let down by the criminal justice system, the American criminal justice system, that is really not for us. It's never been for us. As a matter of fact, it has been created to keep us in oppression. So this criminal justice system, even though it says, you know, it was supposedly supposed to be blind, it is not blind. It has never been blind. It's always been against us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. This criminal justice system, this society, the law is apparent that is totally against us. How do we know this? Because this picture circulating of Sleepy Joe holding a Ukrainian baby, smiling, saying, "We welcome you 100,000 refugees," while they were on horses, they whipped the Levites, so-called Haitians, when they were escaping oppression and poverty and war. I don't know if you know this. There's a reason why our Levite brothers, traveled long and far, spent all of their money just to get up out of the oppression that they're in right now, the hell that they're in right now. I don't think you understand the situation really of what the American society and the West has put our brothers and sisters, the Haitian brothers and sisters, in the condition that they are in right now. They have caused this calamity, this cesspool that's living within Haiti right now. If they would just leave us the hell alone, we would raise ourselves up. You know what I'm saying? But they put us in such a predicament where there is no food, there is no help, there is no medicine, there is no law. And when I say law, there is no justice. People are I want to say it's like I'm not even calling it the Wild Wild West. I'm calling it like some post-apocalyptic style living, where the survival of the fittest, you know, survives. They put us in this type of condition where if you're not strong enough to fend off an attack, you are going to be consumed. And our people are running from that oppression that this society, and it's crazy, we're running from the oppression that this society has put on the Haitian people. We're running towards the people who actually did that to us. But that's how desperate our brothers and sisters are, which led them to being up under a bridge on the U.S.-Mexico border. And what did they do? They turned them away. They beat them with, they got on their horses and beat them with whips. But yet, you see these blonde-haired, blue-eyed devils who has family business, who they put themselves in this predicament. We didn't put ourselves in the predicament that's going on in Haiti, in Central and South America. Let's not forget our Northern Tribe brothers and sisters. They are under the same oppression that this society has put them under. And they're running from that oppression. They're running from the stifling oppression that this society has put on us. And it led to us being on the border, separating us from our kids and putting our kids in cages. And then you take some refugees from a war that this country has fought for 20 years. This country has fought a war against the people for 20 years. Then said, nah, it's all right, y'all can have it. And then invited those same refugees here. Gave them free housing, free healthcare, free education, gave them tax-free benefits, and set them up. All the while saying that they have no room, the bill is too tough, the bill is too high. Who's going to pay for it? To our Northern Tribes brothers and sisters. They say they cannot sustain these people our people from coming into a land that was rightfully theirs. When the oppressor came here and stole it away from them, they say they cannot keep up. Is not sustainable. But in the next note, they let some people that they were fighting for 20 years in. And then on another note, there's a war broke out between oppressor and oppressor. And they're doing some barbaric oppressor things. Come on, it's right over here. And they're doing some barbaric oppressive things. I don't know if you know what's going on over there in the Ukraine right now, but it seems like help came on the way. And when I say help came on the way, I'm talking about in the terms of the West. Even though they say, Putin said, if you interfere, it's going to be dealt with some consequences or whatnot. Well, the help came on the way. You know what I'm saying? And now they're pushing the Russians back. And you know what they began doing? I don't know if you know what's going on right now. You know what they began doing? It's trending. It's trending right now. They began going door to door in this one city, at least one city. Going door to door and taking all the men out, tying them up, and then shooting them. Their bodies are littered in the street, literally. Bodies are littered in the streets, and their hands are tied behind their backs, laying face down or face up or whatever, in gutters and alleys in the middle of the street. That's what their people are doing to themselves. And then Biden went over there and embraced their refugees with wide open arms. Wide open arms. Meanwhile, the oppression that they put our people in caused our people to run from our own place, our own paradise, if you would, because they made it a living hell. And then once we come once they get to the borders of this stinking hellhole, they say there's no room in the end. You cannot come in. Do not enter. Do not go past go. Go back to where you came from. Go back to where you came from. There's a bridge over there that you can live under. And that's where our people are right now. Some of them that actually gotten across and gotten captured, they put them in cages until they deport them, and then keep the kids. Why are they keeping the kids? Because they sexual deviants. They're selling the kids. This is what is going on right now. Kids are packed in, dozens to 100 when it was only supposed to be about 5 or 10 people within this cage. Really, it shouldn't be no people in this cage because that's all it is, cages. They pack it with hundreds, dozens to hundreds of people within within these cages. And then they go and over there to the Ukraine and usher at least 100,000, and then make money, set aside budget for them to bring in more people. You got some?
Yeah, it's lucky, sir. What came first? Was it the COVID that came first, or them putting our brothers and sisters in the cages?
Well, it was them putting our brothers and sisters in cages.
Because just thinking about that, they're still down there. They had no care for them, so-called social distancing. Everybody was that was the perfect place for COVID to spread rapidly because they're so close together.
And they were praying for it. They were hoping that we would catch COVID so that we would die in cages. It was all rounded up in one small area and let us die. That's what they were hoping for. That's essentially what they want. They want us to die off. Meanwhile, them bastards over there are killing each other. White on white crime. White on white crime, and now all this money it came out of thin freaking air. All this benefits came out of thin air. All this land and houses and opportunities came out of thin freaking air. Meanwhile, the oppression that you put us in, we can't foot the bill. You're just leeches. You're a menace to society. You're bad hombres. That's what they call us. The people who call us bad hombres were the people who stormed their own capital because they didn't get their way. Really? You got something?
Yeah, concert. I was talking to a brother earlier today. Now I was just he was talking about God's chosen people. I was like, just look at who America treats bad. Those are the children of God, because America loves the wicked, because America is wicked itself.
America is wicked. The whore of Babylon, the whore that sits on many waters, that is America. But you know what? Let me tell you, Babylon is falling.
That's right.
To rise no more. No more. And just to stay on topic, we're gonna get into what happened to this brother Armando Sanchez and other people, because it didn't just happen to him. Some other stuff happened to some other folk at this what happened at this incident, right? If you could just start me off on that. I'm gonna try and get this video up.
Come. From the TimesUnion.com. Albany police officer Luke Deere pleads guilty to misdemeanor assault, resigns. Prosecutor cites weakness with evidence as authorities reach plea deal that lets Deere avoid felony conviction. Albany. City police officer Luke Deere pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor and agreed to resign Wednesday as part of a plea deal for his conduct in an incident in which officers were accused of pummeling black men at a First Street home in 2019.
Pummeling black men at a First Street home. All right. This is what he was accused of. Salakia. This is what he was accused of. Keep reading.
Come. Here, joined by his attorney, Michael McDermott, in a virtual appearance before City Court Judge Holly Trexler, pleaded guilty to one count of third-degree assault, a misdemeanor. Deere.
A misdemeanor. All right. Just remember, he pleaded to a misdemeanor. All right. This is going to tell you the charges and what he could get if he was convicted. Well, hold on. He pleaded to it, so he admitted to it. So there were some terms. There were some terms that were attached to this deal. Keep going.
Deere, 31, was the only officer arrested in connection with the incident. As a result of the plea, Deere will immediately resign. Nothing in the agreement with prosecutors prevents Deere from seeking another job in law enforcement.
So nothing. Even though he's pleading to assaulting, a brother, while he was on duty, when he was supposed to be upholding the law, he actually broke the law. His plea deal saying, all right, well, you're going to get this misdemeanor, which is not a felony. He avoided a felony charge, avoided being a felon. That's right there. I don't think you really understand, the importance of not the importance, but the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony. Because a felony, according to the Constitution of the United States, can put you into slavery.
Right.
That's what they want for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. They want to put us back into slavery. So he avoided a felony charge by pleading to a misdemeanor, which can go away. It can totally go away. Right? Keep going.
Slaughter, sir.
Yeah, what's up?
He also avoided jail time.
Also avoided jail time. So not only did he beat a man when he was supposed to be upholding the law, he avoided jail time. Now let's look at that, the flip side. Because he was a police officer, and he actually still might be. He actually still might, because he can apply. He may not be able to work in Albany, but he can apply to work for another police force. And he hold on. And he may not be able to work in the city of Albany, but he can work for the state of New York, be a state trooper, or go one city over, one township over, or work at a shit. Because even within a county, there are multiple different police agencies. He could still be working in the same state, the same county, but under a different jurisdiction. That's how these oppressors work. That's how these oppressors operate. You have some?
Yeah, sir. I was thinking about what else he avoided. He avoided total blackball. You was just bringing that out right there. Like he could work for the actual state instead of the city,
exactly,
the county. Like he still has the opportunity to stay in the profession that he's in, which is very unprofessional in. But he's not totally blackballed like black people if they stand up for something. Like the trooper in California, he stood up for he stood against his own department when he saw some other officers brutalizing a black man. He got blackballed from the entire state of California because he said he reported police brutality.
When did this happen? What do you mean?
I seen the story earlier this year, but it's been going on for about. He's been in litigation for like 2-3 years now.
Really?
The California state trooper. He spoke up against police brutality of a black man, and he got blackballed. Railroad.
Huh? Was he an oppressor?
A black man, sir.
He was a black man, and he was basically telling the truth.
Right.
He violated the thin blue wall.
Exactly. And
now he's blackballed.
Right.
The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Keep going if you could.
Come. Dear sentencing will be adjourned for 1 year if, by May 17th, 2022, Deere continues to undergo treatment at a Veterans Administration hospital. He will be allowed to withdraw his plea and enter a plea to disorderly conduct, a violation akin to a traffic ticket. Deere, a Marine who has served in Afghanistan and Iraq, had been undergoing treatment related to his service, according to people familiar with the case. Chief Assistant District Attorney David Rossi told the judge that there were some difficulties in proof in the case against Deere, and that prosecutors believed there was a disposition that we think is the most fair. Rossi said he has not spoken to Armando Sanchez, the victim, or his attorney, but was made privy to discussions with Sanchez by Internal Affairs and Sanchez's attorney early in the case. And the district attorney's office feels this is the best possible course of action to take in this matter, the judge asked Rossi. Yes, Your Honor, Rossi replied. In his plea, Deere admitted that he...
what?
In his plea,
Uh-huh.
Deere admitted that he struck Sanchez with his fist, recklessly causing injury consisting of bruising and abrasions about the face and head, according to court documents filed by Rossi, which included a supporting disposition of Sanchez's April 3rd, 2019 statement to police.
So he admitted what he did. I'm trying to pull up this video. Of the incident. And once you actually see what was going on, but this is not cooperating with me right now. And once you actually see what's going on, how things happen, and what happened, you would see that he is not guilty of a misdemeanor, but guilty of a felon. He should be locked up. His freedom should be stripped away from him. Because if it was any one of us that touched a hair on a cop's head, did you know in Texas, if you even curse at a cop, it is a felony? It's assault against a police officer. How do I know this? Because a brother was telling me that how his nephew, he's trying to get his nephew a job working at the White House, right? And his nephew was pretty young, around 20, under 22. He was like 22 or younger, right? And he asked him, hey, do you have any trouble? You have any bad paper on you? He was like, nah, I ain't got no bad paper, whatever. So he put him in for a security clearance or whatnot. And they came back and said, nah, he got a felon. He was like, what? Why didn't he tell me? So he asked him. He was like, what's going on? He was like, I never got in trouble. He was like, well, according to them, they say you got a felony. How can you not know you have a felony? And he was like, oh, man, that wasn't a real thing, but it was real. He was like, he got stopped for a traffic violation. Whatever, he was like rolling, whatever. He got stopped for a traffic violation. And the cop pulled him over, and the cop was was being real rude and indignant and cursing at him. And he was taking it for a while, right? He was taking it for a while, but then he got fed up. He was like, man, I'm a man. Stop talking to me. And then he just snapped and was like, man, F you. He was like, step out the car, right? Cop was like, step out the car, arrested him, charged him with assault because he said F you. He was like, man, you cursing at me. How come I can't curse right back at you when you doing it to me? So him cursing at the cop, I think it was like a ranger or a state trooper or something like that. That was assaulting a police officer. Made him a felon, instant felon. So we can't even talk greasy to a cop. Us. I'm talking about us. Because the oppressor talks greasy to cops all the goddamn time. They be saying some wild, crazy stuff. And they don't be in fear for their life. You know what I'm saying? They don't lose their cool. None of that happens to them that happens to us. I seen a video of this oppressor in the woods, right? And this oppressor had the nerve to say that. Let me backtrack. I seen this video of this oppressor in the woods. He came up upon a bear, a goddamn bear. It doesn't matter if it was a little bear or a bear. It was a bear. Niggas in the hood, we see a dog, we crossing the street. A dog loose. This oppressor was in the woods and came upon a bear, and the bear didn't see him. He came up from the back of him, right? He had his cameraman walked up on him. The bear heard it, and then all right, he was walking away. The oppressor followed him. The devil followed him, just like they do us. And he wasn't out there hunting because it didn't show like he had any weapon like a rifle or a bow or whatever. He just went up to him and smacked him on the hind parts. Right? The bear turned around. He looked at him. He was like, "Nigga, did you just smack me?" He looked at him for a second, and then rushed him. Right? And then rushed him, and then you hear like, you know what I'm saying? You see the camera all wobbling and shaking and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, get him, right? And then at the end of it, the oppressor had the nerve to say, "This bear attacked me." You dead ass? You serious? This bear attacked you? He was walking away.
That was self-defense.
Exactly. He was walking away. You followed him. Who the hell goes up to a bear? Who walks up to a bear? These oppressors be doing some wild, crazy stuff. That's why they always own when animals attack. They'll go up to a goddamn bear in the wild, non-domesticated. You know what I'm saying? A bear in the wild and go in and try and smack it on a butt. You go up to alligators and try and pet alligators and wild cats. But yet when you pull a black man or a Hispanic man over, you steady reaching for your gun. You steady reaching for your safety. Why? Because you're in fear for your life. How come you ain't in fear from a goddamn lion? These oppressors have lions in their goddamn houses and whatnot. How come you're not afraid of a bear that is 3 and 4 times your size and your weight, that will slap your face off? Will slap your face off your head. You ain't afraid of that, but you're afraid of a black man. These oppressors, man. These oppressors. If you could get me Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. I always love going there. Why? Because it shows the spirit of our oppressors. It always shows us the spirit of our oppressors. When you got it, read it.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
What?
Never trust thine enemy.
Sometimes.
Never trust thine enemy.
The scripture says this is the word of God. This is the word of God. The word of God tells us to never, ever, Smokey would say, never, ever trust your enemy. Never trust your enemy. It is according to the Most High. The Most High is our Father, and He's telling us how to survive in this hellhole we are living in right now. One of those ways that we survive, we thrive. Not only survive, because survival is just something you can just get by. We can thrive by this one simple rule, this one simple commandment, this one simple order. Never trust your enemy. Most High calls our oppressor our enemy, according to Deuteronomy 28:68. Look it up yourself. He calls our oppressor the enemy. Right? Keep going.
Come. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Just like iron rust. Because iron definitely will rust. Salakia. Iron definitely will rust. So is his wickedness. All right. All right, see, Facebook playing games. I don't want to do all that. Come on now. All right, okay. I got something for you. Just like iron rusted, so is his wickedness, which means saying iron will rust. It may take a little while longer than other things you can do to keep iron from rusting, but it definitely will rust. Keep it over time. It definitely will rust. Just like our oppressor. Biden says if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Well, how's your vote feeling now when he's directly oppressing your brothers and sisters and embracing his own people? Right. Did he beg for the votes of the Ukrainians? Nah. But he's openly embracing. How in the hell is helping a Ukrainian going to a further agenda of the American people? He can't even help the black people who did vote for him. He won't. I'm not even gonna say he can't. He won't. He won't help the people. Why? Because he's the person that he is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason. He's one of the main reasons why many of us have experienced single parent households. The push of drugs in our community, and then illegalizing the same drugs that they push into our community. We can thank Joe Biden for that. He is one of the main factors why many of us suffer from the causes of having a single parent household. You understand what I'm saying? He is one of the main factors, and yet he has the audacity and nerve to say if we don't vote for him, we're not black. But yet he doesn't help our people. He never helped our people. He helped himself. He boosted himself. He boosted himself to the highest office in the land off of our backs, blatantly. And then he goes and helps some other people. When there's people right here, he can help. But he chooses not to. Is there any more on that scripture?
Verse 11.
Read it.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 11. Though he humble himself.
So he humble himself, right? Though he come supposedly low and humble, right? Keep going.
And go crouching.
Right?
Yet take good heed and beware of him.
Don't listen to him. Just give him that side eye. Like, yo, he about to do something wild, right? Keep going.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
So and it'll be like if you just say, imagine as you getting out the shower and you looking in the mirror, right? It's all steamy, right? Keep going.
And thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away.
Right. So and then if you wipe that steam away, you can see a little bit more clearly, right? You can see a little bit more clearly. But with him, once you wipe that looking glass, you can see, man, this bastard still is rusty. Still has a whole ton of wickedness up on him. Have the nerve to say that he can't help, the Haitians and the Mexicans and the Salvadorians and the Colombians, but yet he can help all these Afghanis. He can help all these Ukrainians. The money just came out of thin freaking air. Can't help us when we've been begging for help from the same people that put us in this goddamn condition. The least you can do is you knock this down. The least you can do is help us out. But he says, nah, man, my hands are full. I ain't got no more money. As he's going around throwing money in the air, helping these Afghanis and these Ukrainians, right? Drop that. Get me back to the article if you could, Baba Shah.
Come. Trexler told Deere if he were to abscond or stop undergoing treatment, she could toss the plea agreement and impose up to a year of jail under the conviction of third-degree assault.
All right, so this dude, I'm gonna try and get this video up. If you see, this dude has a lot of pent-up anger. He has anger issues. And if anybody knows anything about PTSD, anger issues, being able to control your anger, that is one of the symptoms of PTSD. That same war that we was talking about that America fought against the Iraqis and the Afghanis, he was in that. He was in both of them wars. It says he was a Marine who served in Afghanistan and Iraq. If anybody's ever been to a war zone, and if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, there is a better than 50, 60, 70% chance that you have been in a war zone. You may not have been directly involved in a shootout, you know what I'm saying? But you have been living in a heightened sense of awareness. You know what I'm saying? How do I know this? Because the police occupy our neighborhoods. The police occupy our neighborhoods along with the gangs that they created us. They created these gangs. They created these drug dealers. They created these drug addicts and these hookers and these whores and these whoremongers. You watch it. You're in this atmosphere. You gotta wait and be aware of the pimps. You gotta be aware of the dope dealers, the dope boys. You gotta be aware of the gang bangers. You gotta be aware of the goddamn police. You gotta be made aware of all this. You have a heightened sense as you're on your way to school as a kid. You had no childhood. You have to be aware of this, and you live in this cesspool, this hellhole that the oppressor has put us in, year after year after year. And it causes pressure. Some people have an outlet to release, and most of us don't. A lot of us crack and turn to self-medication. You know what I'm saying? When I say self-medication, it could be drugs, it can be alcohol, it could be turning to gang, it could be violence. It could be a whole slew of activities that is detrimental to us, our family, and our people. And our oppressor has put that directly on us. And you mean to tell me we don't have PTSD? This dude suffers from PTSD. He suffers from PTSD. Or just being a wicked, disgusting bastard who thinks that he can just put his hands on us and have no consequence whatsoever. And in reality, if you read the story, there really is no consequence. Because this dude said, let's continue on. Let's continue, because it's going to show what he said he did. And I'm going to pull up the video and you're going to see what he did. You're going to see it with your own eyes, because the prosecution said one thing with, not only did the prosecution say one thing, not the prosecution, but the defense. Not only did the defense say one thing, and the prosecution, but they also had the videos we're about to see. They also had the videos that we're about to see. Now you tell me what is real. Would you trust your own eyes with what this devil said versus what you seen him do? We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Keep going.
Come. Asked if he was pleading guilty because he was, in fact, guilty of third-degree assault, Deere told the judge, yes, ma'am.
So he knew he was guilty. He knew he was guilty. Keep going.
Come. The court is expected to be updated on Deere's treatment 4 times a year.
So he had to go to anger management counseling. A part of his plea deal, he had to go to anger management counseling, and he had to update the court 4 times a year. Every quarter, he had to update the court. And if he failed to do that, then they could throw out the case. Not throw out the case. They can throw out the plea, and he will go up to the higher charges. No, I take that back. He would, because he's avoiding jail time right now. If he were to go to this anger management counseling, he would avoid jail time. If he didn't agree, or if he failed to show the court that he was going to this anger management class, he would then do a year in jail. That was the punishment for his plea deal. So he would have to, instead of him going to jail for a year for the crap that he pulled, all he had to do was go to anger management class for a year. And if he failed to prove that he went to anger management class those 4 times within that year, then he would do a year in jail. This goes to show you that the oppressor, they can beat us, They can torture us. They can terrorize us. They can occupy our neighborhoods. And all they would get is anger management class. This dude has deep-rooted issues. Deep-rooted issues, and he should not be in a place of authority telling anybody what to do, let alone Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Right? Keep going.
Deer was arrested weeks after the beatings. The case has languished in court for 2 years.
Weeks. He got arrested weeks after. When they gave these brothers, minutes. They gave not even minutes. You'll see what happened. You'll see what happened. They say, leave, and you don't leave, or you don't leave fast enough. Then they on your hind parts, right? That's what happened. So even though they had the evidence of what happened, it took them weeks to actually arrest this criminal. It took them weeks to arrest this criminal. Keep going.
The case has languished in court for 2 years, delayed in part by the closure of courtrooms and curtailing of court action during the coronavirus pandemic. Albany County District Attorney David Soares released the statement after Deer's guilty plea. Our priority in resolving this case was to ensure that this officer could no longer police the streets of Albany.
No longer police the streets of Albany, right? That's a load of crap. That's absolute crap. Why? Because within their plea deal, he could get his job back. He can get his job back. If they really wanted that, they would have made it a stipulation to where he cannot be a police officer, a law enforcement officer at all on any level. On any level. He could, in theory, go up to be a federal agent, federal officer. And that's a lot of times that's the goal of these devils, these bastards. Start low, go high. The aim is to get as high as you can in the federal government. That's what they do. And this bastard has the opportunity to do that. Keep going.
Oh, God. I commend the chief of police for taking this seriously, and I look forward to continuing to work with him and his administration to make sure that breakdowns like this one that occurred on First Street don't happen again.
Huh? Really? But it seems like it does. Seems like it happens all the time. So like I'm still trying to get this video so that everybody can see what the hell is going on. You got any more on that?
Yeah, concert. Deer, who joined the department in 2014, was accused of using a baton to strike Sanchez in the face and head in an unjustified attack. He was charged with felony assault.
Okay, read that part again. Hold on. Read that part.
Concert. Deer, who joined the department in 2014, was accused of using a baton to strike Sanchez in the face and head in an unjustified attack.
Unjustified in the face and the head. An unjustified attack. I'm looking at this video right now. Brother. This is it. You know what? Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So they said he attacked the brother in the face and in the head. Unprovoked. And this dude got a misdemeanor charge. Because he admitted that he did it. Remember, a plea deal means you actually have to stand in front of a judge and say the things that you did. That's what's going on in the plea deal. You don't just have to admit it. You have to say, hey, judge, I did this, and then I went over here, and then I did this, and then I did this. The things leading up to the event, including the event, and then after the event. You actually say that. He entered a plea and it was accepted. So he admitted that he attacked this dude, this brother, unprovoked. If we were to attack a police officer, there's a case in or there was a case. The case is over. There was a case in Ohio where these police officers thought that this car was shooting at them. Right? Maybe I should bring that out one time. But they thought this car was shooting at them. But the car backfired. Right? The car backfired. Police called in, shots fired. The guy didn't stop. You know, he seen some cops. It turned out to be like 100, honest to God, it turned out to be like 100-something police officers converging trying to find this dude, chasing this dude. And when they finally stopped him, they lit it up. Of course, he was unarmed. He didn't have there was no weapons in the car, anything like that. And it led up to a cop being so afraid for his life, he got up on top of the car and started shooting. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah.
There was about 70 shots in the windshield. Yeah.
Not just in the because they surrounded the car. They were so afraid for their life that they shot up the car, and they weren't worried about the police officers that was in the line of fire. Because there was cops in the front of the vehicle, it was cops in the back of the vehicle shooting at the vehicle. They weren't concerned about the crossfire. They were not concerned about the crossfire. So that goes to show you the mindset of the oppressors. How much they absolutely hate us and want us gone. But no sweat. When Christ comes back, he's gonna take care of all that. He's gonna take care of all that. So he admitted to what he did. Let's see if I can get this whole thing. Are you able to see the class online?
Yeah, class.
All right. I'm about to pull it up. Hold on. Let me share the screen. 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second if you could. Baba Gashar. All right. I got it. Here we go. And let's see if he was right or if he was wrong. Can you see it?
There's a delay.
There's a delay. All right, no sweat. Let me know if you can actually hear it as well. You can see it?
Yeah, I can see it, sir.
All right, I'm about to play it.
That's correct. They weren't involved. That's
Look at this devil. Ran all the way to the other side.
Get the fuck out of here. Go! Now! Back up! Don't touch me! What you touching me for? Punch me in the face, motherfucker!
Look at this.
Put this on your back!
You see that? Hold on. I don't think you understood what happened.
What you touching me for? Punch me in the face,
Punching him.
motherfucker!
Punching him. Picked up the stick. Look at that. In the back of the head. Let's look at that one more again. Hold on. Let's look at it from the beginning.
They weren't involved. That's fault. Get the fuck out of here. Go!
He ran to him.
Now!
Ran to him.
Back up!
Had his hands up. Knocked him down. And kept pushing him.
What you touching me for?
Now he's punching him in the face.
Punch me
His
in the
hands
face,
is up. Turned him around. Punching him again. Took the baton and hit him in the back of the head.
Do it now. What you hit me for? Do it now. Put this on your back now. Put yours on your back, cover.
Slovakia for the language. There's supposed to be another body cam view of what's going on. And even right here,
I'm not doing shit.
even right here,
I'm not doing nothing.
I don't think you can see it. But they're doing to him what they did to George Floyd. Like all his weight is on his knee, that one knee. Like you can see his other foot all the way off the ground. Like the cop that you see his hands. He is on the brother's neck. He is on the brother's neck. And you're not going to be able to see it from this view, but his knee is all the way on his neck. And then he goes away. And you see that? Unprovoked.
Fuck out of here.
Like, are you serious? Almost got the cop. Hold on. Let's run that back real quick. Let's run that back real quick. He got his nose busted because he ran over there.
Go now.
Look at that.
Now.
Got his cop. And this dude is telling him to calm down. Tell him to calm down, but he don't want to listen. All right.
You pepper sprayed that man?
Yeah. Yeah, he pepper sprayed him.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything either.
He was, yeah. He wasn't moving fast enough for this devil's orders. He was not moving fast enough for this devil's orders. You saw what happened. This dude ran from the other side of the incident. Ran from the other side of the incident and started pushing him. Pushing the brother. The brother had his hands up. It's like, yo, I want no problems, whatever. He had his hands up. The dude pushed him, knocked him down. He got up. You was telling him to leave, right? What, you supposed to you supposed to crawl on his belly? That's what you want him to do? He got up and then he got more aggressive. And then that's when he started hitting him. Not only did he started punching him, he was not resisting to the point where you actually have to enforce any type of control. And when you do enforce some type of control, you do not throw punches. You do that's one of their that's one of their bylaws. You do not throw punches. You know what I'm saying? So he was throwing punches. He was in violation of the police department, his police policy, throwing punches. And then when he had him under control, he turned him around. And his hands were still up. You still saw his hands up. He was punching him. He was like, nah, this is not good enough. He went and grabbed his baton. And you heard it. Hit him in the head. And then threw it away and then put him in cuffs. What you did not see, because there's another body cam view there was another devil that put his knee all the way on his neck. All the way on his neck. Like you can see his other leg off the ground. And that's what I was trying to show you. Get both. It was multiple camera views, body camera views. But that devil who had his knee on his neck, same way that they killed George Floyd, that was in New York. This incident happened in New York. What happened with George Floyd happened in Minnesota and Minnesota. Halfway across the country in the Midwest. So you mean to tell me that they don't have the same tactics? They don't have the same training? They do the same exact things. And this happened probably a year before George Floyd. This happened in 2019. You know what I'm saying? So these oppressors have the same tactics, have the same hate, have the same vitriol that they have for whether you are Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian in Albany, New York, or West Texas, or damn California, or are you in some reservation somewhere? They hate us, and they use the same exact methods of saying you're not moving fast enough, so I am going to hurt you. And there's nothing that you can do about it because I am the law. So even though he pleaded guilty and the prosecution said there was not enough evidence to prosecute him to keep it a felony charge. He hit him in the back of the head with a baton. In the back of the head. When he first came over there, his hands was up. How can you say that he was not being compliant? And if you actually heard him, he's saying, "I'm not resisting." He said, "I'm not resisting. I'm walking away." He said he was walking away. When he got up and pepper sprayed that other person was walking away. He just wanted violence. He just wanted violence. You got something?
Yeah, Constable. First dude that had his hands up. There was no reason for that officer to run over there. He had 3-4 red dots on him. They had tasers pointed at him.
And he ran in the line of fire.
I was just about to say that. He put himself in harm's way by escalating the situation. He went totally against so-called training to de-escalate, because that's what they're supposed to be, de-escalating every situation or match force with force. But that situation right there was absolutely unnecessary. They had the tasers on.
They only de-escalate when it comes to their own. Mm-hmm. That's the only time they use restraint, and it's the only time they use their head is when it comes to another white man or especially a white woman or any other nation for that matter. But when it comes to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, all that goes out the window. Why? Because they're in fear for their life. They need to be on the offensive at all times when it comes to us. You have something?
Yeah, because a dog has better sense than the white man when it comes to the aggressors. It was the police dog that bit the police when he threw a black man down in Florida during the spring break.
Yeah.
The dog bit the police because the dog saw that he was the aggressor.
Yeah, he was the aggressor.
Yeah. So the dog, the Most High put a spirit on the dog for justice.
There's another report of this devil arresting a sister who's 4 months pregnant, right? Yeah. Threw her to the ground. Threw her to the ground, and then he went for his taser and tased her in the belly, tased her in the stomach. These are the type of people that are occupying our neighborhoods. Occupying our neighborhoods. And when they, you know what I'm saying, when they talk about the Holocaust, what happened to the Jewish man, how the Nazis occupied their neighborhoods and told them, you know, they needed to produce papers whenever required, whenever asked. They say that was oppression and it should never happen. When in fact, all this stuff is happening to us right here and right now. And you know what? Honestly, if you actually do your research, all of that oppression that happened to the Jewish people over in Germany and in Eastern Europe, all of that stemmed from Jim Crow. Right. Hitler's lawyers, top advisors, came over here to the U.S. to study the Jim Crow laws, and took it back to Germany and oppressed the so-called Jewish man, the Amalekites. They came and studied how they oppressed us and went back and did it to their own people, because they're all from the same father. They all have the same forefather, and that's Esau. Get me Obadiah 1 and 10, if you could, Baba Kashar. This is going to be the judgment of every oppressor, of every slave master, of every slave master's daughter, of every slave master's wife, of every slave master's child. This is going to be the reward. This is going to be the wage. This is going to be the payment for all the things that they did. Beat us in the back of the head with a damn asp. Then run and pepper. You can't even hold yourself long enough to not pepper spray your own man. Try and get us. That's how angry this devil is. And he got away with murder. If it had not been for other officers there, he probably would have killed that man. Right. I wouldn't put it past him. Read the reward for this devil, for these oppressors.
Come. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
For what?
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
It ain't because you sitting on top right now. It ain't because you gathered all the wealth off of the backs of us. It's not about the color of your hair or the texture of your hair or the color of your eyes and your skin. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. Read that from the top again. For what?
Come. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
For thy violence, for you throwing us, running across the goddamn street, down the block and across the street, knocking us down, pummeling us when we not even covering ourselves to protect ourselves. We still had our hands up. So you got free shots for you pummeling us, then turning us over to put cuffs on us, and then you beat us in the back of the head with a baton. What? Read that part again.
Come. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
For you putting a goddamn knee on the back of our neck for 8 minutes and 22 seconds, 24 seconds, until we're crying out for our dead mother. Read that part again.
Come. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
When all I had was a bag of Skittles and some iced tea, walking home, minding my goddamn business. Read that part again.
Come. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Because the damn rent is so goddamn high in New York City, I gotta sell loose cigarettes to make ends meet. And you want to put me in a goddamn chokehold. Right? Keep going.
Come. Shame shall cover thee.
Shame definitely will cover you. You ain't shamed right now, but when Christ comes back, heads are going to be rolling down the street. Blood will be flowing like a raging river. Keep going.
Come. And thou shalt be cut off forever.
And thou shalt be cut off forever. Thou shalt be cut off forever. Get me Zechariah. Hold on. Give me Zechariah 11:5. Give me Zechariah 11:5. And this is what these bastards do all the time. All the time. This is not the first time that this devil, I'm not talking about in particular this devil, but it's not the first time that these devils, basically get away with murder. Get away with murder. What happened to this woman who said that a child whistled at her? Who gives a goddamn? He's a child. Even if he did whistle at you, he's a child. The devil said a child whistled at her, and it caused him to be beaten and murdered, and his body left in the swamp. What happened to her? What happened? She got to live a full life. She got to live a full life. My man's didn't. There's another case. I forget his brother's name. Actually, he's on the cover of one of Cat McCod's albums. He was the youngest brother to be executed.
George Stinney Jr.
George Stinney Jr. He was what, 11 years old?
12.
He was 12 years old. 12 years old. Didn't even weigh 100 pounds. And they say he raped 2 little girls and dragged their bodies a few hundred yards. He physically couldn't do that. But what about the people that lied and said he did? They led a full life. George Stinney Jr. didn't. He didn't get to live a full life. He didn't get to live a full life.
Slocky, sir.
What's up?
He was 14.
He was 14 years old. And he was still a little. If you see the picture of this boy, this kid, you would see he was slight. He was slight. There was no physical way he could have done that. The things that they accuse him of doing, no. That's Because when they it wasn't like, it's not like today, in today's time, where you go to trial, you get arrested, then you go to trial, then you get convicted, then you serve out your sentence, and then it comes time for execution. No, in those days, that whole process happens could have happened in a month. When it came to us, when it comes to another oppressor, they drag that thing out for a long time. We got people right now sitting on death row, die of old age, and not the sentence or whatnot. But they put us in jail so much, they set up an organization called the Innocence Project to prove that we did not do what we say we didn't do. And even then, it takes years, sometimes decades, to prove this.
Right.
I remember it was a case recently. Well, it wasn't recently, but I seen it recently, where this brother spent 20 or 30 years in jail for rape. Where the woman, who's an author right now, like a famous author, went in court and was like, yes, that man right there, he raped me. Come to find out, DNA test says it wasn't this man. And she was like, oh, well, I was wrong. Like, are you serious? You led a full life, made money off of this incident, and put an innocent man in jail. And that's all you got to say is, you sorry? Nah, someone got to pay. Someone got to pay. Somebody got to pay. Rosewood was burned down because of a cankerous whore who lied on a black man when she was whoring on her husband and got beat up for it. She lied on a whole goddamn town was burned to the ground. You know Rosewood still stands? It's an abandoned town. If you riding down that street right now, if you're riding down where you're supposed to turn into it, it's not wooded up, but you'll miss it because it's all overgrown. The passage is overgrown. But the houses and the community is still there. What's left of it is still there. It is an abandoned town. That was one of our shining examples. You know what I'm saying? We had our own. We kept to ourselves. We didn't bother nobody. We were actually obeying what the Most High said. Don't trust them. Keep to ourselves. And yet they lied, and a lie from the white person got that town burned down. I don't know how many people killed from that incident. Read the scripture if you could, Baba Kashar.
Come. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them?
Our possessors. Who is our possessors? It's very obvious. Who's the possessor of this whole goddamn earth? It is still very obvious, right? Whose possessors what?
Whose possessors slay them?
Right? They kill us. They killed George Floyd. They killed. They were literally in possession of him. You know what I'm saying? They killed Sandra Bland. They were literally in possession of her. Literally. What about those babies that are coming up missing? Our kids are in their possession. How did they come up missing when they're locked in cages? They slay us. And if you actually read the law, our law, I'm not talking about, the oppressor's law, because that law is made to destroy us. The Most High's law describes rape as murder. It is just as bad as murder because you are killing the victim. You're killing the victim's family because they have to mend and piece that broken spirit back together. You're not just destroying one person, you're destroying everything around them. It is wicked. And that's exactly what they're doing to our kids down there at the border. Purposely separating the kids from the families, from the parents, so that they can murder and by way of sex trafficking. You asked something, brother?
Yeah, Colin, sir. You was talking about Rosewood earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I just typed up Rosewood massacre deaths and got a projection. It says 6 black and 2 white people were the official figure, but unofficially it's 27 to 150 black people in some reports.
There you go. There you go. Over what? Over a cankerous whore? Really? Really? You see, a cankerous whore was on full display at the Oscars last week or a couple weeks ago. We can see the effects of having a cankerous whore around. But that's not our subject tonight. And you know what? Her ideology, her mentality comes straight from our oppressor. Comes straight from our oppressor. That is not our culture. The way she is, it is not our culture. It is not our custom. It's not what we do. But we take the lives and the energy, the vibe of our oppressor, and that we enhance that. Unfortunately, we enhance it to be on a world stage. But y'all heard enough about that, right? Let's keep going, if you could.
Come. I'll start from the top. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Hold themselves not guilty. In essence, this devil, even though he plead to a misdemeanor, what punishment did he have to have? What was the punishment? The punishment, quote unquote punishment, was he had to go to anger management class. He can't work there no more, but he can still apply for another job in the same capacity.
And actually, that's not a punishment. That's a benefit.
It's not a punishment at all for violating the law.
Right.
Violating the law, just like I told you, that young brother cursed back at that officer, and he's a felon now because of that. This devil outright pummeled, ran to the conflict. Actually, there was no conflict. He created the conflict, ran to it, and beat this man. And all he got was anger management classes, and that's it. And he had to resign. He wasn't fired. He had to resign. He got the opportunity to resign. If anybody, now let's just say somebody did what he did to a cop. Let's say a black man did what he did to a cop. That's attempt murder.
Straight like that.
It's not assault. It's not, that's he beating somebody on the back of the head with a stick, a metal pipe. That's attempt murder. And if you were attempting murder on a cop, you were getting the death penalty. That's a death penalty offense. And if you're in a state that doesn't have the death penalty, you're going to jail forever without the possibility of parole.
Some might even try to charge that person with premeditated murder.
You're right.
Because
and that's a harsher sentence.
Yeah. Well, what type of person would want to assault a police officer? You've been thinking about that. You wanted to do this for a long time. They'll try to flip the story like that. And then on top of that, it might be considered a hate crime too, because police are supposed to be their own race since they bleed blue, right?
Yeah, since they bleed blue.
Right.
These oppressors terrorize us in every way. Every way. And the way he did this, and if you were to, once he got up and pepper sprayed that other pepper sprayed his fellow cop. There was another cop that was trying to calm him down. And he waved it off like, man, get the hell out of here. He waved it off like, no. You mean to tell me he hasn't been this angry in the line of duty before? He hasn't had altercations like this before? That's gone unreported because of the thin blue wall? You wonder why people hate cops. I hate that they occupy our neighborhoods. I hate that they get to terrorize us so freely and openly. My resting assurance is that when Christ comes back, they will have zero power to do any of this ever again.
That's right.
It will never happen again. And for those brothers and sisters who think that all you have to do is get enough of the people together and organize and hold them accountable and be enough cops to be in there so that we can change the system on the inside. How come it hasn't happened so far? How come it hasn't happened? We are still hearing about police violence and police brutality against us. Do you know the number one people to get killed unarmed by police are? You know who they are? You might know.
I would say black children.
No.
Can you say the question again, sir?
The number one people to be murdered unarmed by police in America. The number one people.
Carnally, I would say their spouses.
Nah, it's you. People would say it's black people because we have the voice. You know what I'm saying? We have the voice to get it out, but it's not black people. Black people are not the number one people to. And when I say black, I'm talking about in specific. We are not the. We're not the ones that the number one people to get killed unarmed by cops. The number one people, and it's a shame that we don't know this, is Native Americans. They do not have the voice that Black America has, quote unquote, Black America has. And they are the number one people to be murdered unarmed by police officers. The number one people in America. How come that's, people don't know about that? Why? Is it because they're rounded up and treated like trash, put on reservations, and have no voice. Number one woman to get trafficked. Native American woman. Do you know in America, I want to say in America, I'm not sure about Canada. I can't speak on Canada, but in America, if you like the charge of rape can stem from 5 years, 10 years, something like that, all the way up to life, right? Depending on the severity of rape. The maximum on a reservation, and this is according to, this is mandated, not according, this is mandated by the U.S. government. They cannot go over 2 years. If you rape a woman on a reservation, the maximum you can get, and you're caught and captured, the maximum you can get is 2 years. Do you think these vile, low-life rapists don't know that? If they're going to do it and they're going to risk jail time, they might as well risk 2 years. And that law is mandated by the U.S. federal government, who oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Committing 2 years for a murder, because that's what rape is. That's a goddamn murder. They hold themselves not guilty. And if you think that our Native American brothers and sisters choose to live on a goddamn reservation when this whole damn land is theirs, They were free to go here and there whenever they so chose to whenever they please. You think they want to stay on the reservation? No, it's because the oppressor tells them they need to stay on that reservation. They are literally in possession of the U.S. government, and they mandated a law saying that they can only go up to 2 years. That's how our people are being treated. This is how our people. This goes across the board. This goes across the board. They do not care about us. It's over 100,000 missing black women right now. Right now. How come that's not a talking point in every election? Joe Biden. How come that's not a talking point? What's that Supreme Court justice name? The new black one? How come that wasn't a talking point when she got nominated? She's a black woman. How come you're not talking about that? How come you're not championing that? Black people are so afraid to champion a cause about black people because they think it will make them look radical. It'll make them look like they're for black. Well, goddamn, if you're not for black people and you are in a position of power, who the hell will be? I know one person who will be, Commanding General Yahanna, and he's been doing it since the 80s for decades, and he can't stop, won't stop. He he won't stop. He won't stop championing the causes of the babies that's locked on the border. He won't stop championing the causes of the over 100,000 missing black women. He won't stop championing the causes of the molestation that happens in the black and brown community. He won't stop. He won't stop the school to prison pipeline. He won't stop the police brutality we just witnessed. He won't stop. He will champion the cause of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians until Christ comes home. Until Christ comes here. And once Christ comes here, there will be judgment. Like the movie said, there will be blood. There will be blood. And Christ will shed that blood. All we have to do to ensure Christ's return is obey the Most High's law. That get up in class. Get up under this banner, this UPK banner. Learn how to follow the law, statutes, and commandments properly. Has nothing to do with putting tassels, gay tassels, on your t-shirt. Has nothing to do with putting a sheet over yourself and walking around saying shalom. Has nothing to do with that. But it has everything to do with falling in line and being in order under Commanding General Yahanna.
That's right.
And once that happens, we get enough people when Christ, it's not when we get enough people, when the Most High sees that we're actually having heaven on earth, he will actually put heaven on earth. It will, Esau's kingdom will be done, and Jacob's will be soon to come. And with that, I pass the class to the priest and officer for God Law.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. TITHES, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you to the treasury. It's like it. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upcoming holy convocation is the Passover, held in Cocoa Beach, Florida. It'll be held the 15th of April, the 14th day after the first month. And you can find this in the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 1 through verse 51. Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 4 through 5. 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verses 7 through 8. And 2 Chronicles, chapter 30, verse 17. Remind Akim and Akwafian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirt, black pants, black headband, or scarf.
It's like one thing before you close it out, if I could, Baba Kashaw. Passover is in 1 week. Passover fund is $200. If you do not have the link, ask your kid with your camp leader to get that link. Everybody 17 years of age or older is a $200 fee to enter into the Passover. It's in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Hebrew Academy participants, you need to be on the field 6 a.m. Thursday morning. You need to be on the field by 6 a.m. Thursday morning. Do not be late. That's all I have.
Kanokah. With that, I say Amadium, which means to stand. Men of Israel will give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Amadium Shabbat. Amadium Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Matah. Class dismissed.